witness. My question is more nuanced. You sat in
The cross-examination starts with a huge contradiction. The lawyer reminds Amber Heard that Officer Sines testified face-to-face and didn't see any injuries. Ms. Heard quickly tries to reframe the testimony, claiming the officer just didn't consider my red puffy face injured. This is a critical point. Is the witness accurately reflecting the police testimony, or is she trying to downplay the fact that the officer saw no evidence of injury? Is this a reasonable explanation or a deflection?
Courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face-to-face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
The lawyer immediately calls out the attempted change in narrative, stating, "It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries." The lawyer then quickly brings in Officer Tyler Haddon, who also testified to seeing no injuries on your face. Ms. Heard again claims officers did not consider me injured, stubbornly sticking to her interpretation against the explicit testimony of two separate officers. The drama is building as the lawyer stacks up the police accounts.
The red puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was her testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It doesn't matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016, and he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury. They didn't consider what they walked.
The contradictions don't stop there. The lawyer introduces a third officer, William Gatlin, who also did not observe any injuries. Ms. Heard tries to discredit him by saying he was too far away and didn't even know which one I was. The lawyer quickly corrects her, showing she had to identify yourself. 3 separate officers, 3 testimonies of no visible injuries. This is a massive hit to the claim of immediate visible injury on May 21st.
On in the house damage, but it was.
You were sitting here when Officer William Gatlin testified by deposition about being called on May 21 to the Eastern Columbia building, and he also did not observe any injuries on you, did he? And that's what he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No, I think we all saw on video camera you identify yourself. Isn't that correct?
I had to because of how far away he was. He didn't even know who he was.
But after you identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that correct?
From a distance, yes.
And he didn't see any visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
He testified that he didn't see any visible injuries, did he?
I would believe that he didn't, yeah.
The testimony of the building doorman, Alejandro Romero, is introduced. Romero saw her on May 25th and testified he saw no swelling or bruises. The lawyer emphasizes that Romero was taught to look people in the eye. Ms. Heard simply dismisses the account. He wouldn't have. This is a key reaction that highlights the emotional stakes, suggesting Heard believes her word should override multiple witnesses.
Yes.
You were also in this courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Yeah, and Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
The cross-examination pivots dramatically to Ms. Heard's claim that she sought a restraining order because she wanted to change the locks for safety. The lawyer delivers a powerful contradiction. She already changed the locks on May 22nd. This sets up the lawyer's next crucial question. Is that why she felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
You testified yesterday that you sought a temporary restraining order on May 27th, 2016 because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
But you changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
The lawyer pulls up a clear video of Miss Heard and James Franco entering the elevator late at night. The footage confirms the date and time, almost 11 p.m. The question hangs in the air. If she truly feared for her safety, why should she be hosting a male visitor in the penthouse just one day after the alleged serious incident? The video evidence speaks louder than any testimony.
I do not know when James came over.
Okay.
The lawyer now questions Miss Heard's timing for filing the restraining order. She filed on May 27th, claiming fear, but the lawyer suggests she knew Depp was out of town for a European tour and wouldn't be back for weeks. The implication is severe. Was the restraining order timed for maximum publicity and safety, or simply maximum convenience? Miss Heard repeatedly claims she doesn't recall his schedule.
Let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439? That's you and Mr. Franco on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night, isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time it looked like that.
Why don't we pull that video back up? (22:51). Almost midnight, right?
That's
Almost 11 o'clock at night.
exactly.
The lawyer shifts to a recorded conversation about a confrontation in a car outside a studio. Ms. Heard confirms her testimony was that she was trying to stop Depp from going into start another cycle of drug use. The lawyer pushes hard, asking if she is now testifying that Depp does drugs in front of his children. Ms. Heard states she knows he does, trying to pivot back to the issue of him using with friends.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21, 2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town on May 27th when you went to get the domestic violence restraining order, isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was heading out on a European tour that week, isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure what I understood of his schedule at that time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
The audio recording plays, revealing a difficult exchange. Depp says, "I don't want to be doing this. I'm itching." Miss Heard, in turn, says, "Why don't you just say, 'Okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing. Hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours.'" This recording shows a raw and dysfunctional dynamic between the two, providing a painful, intimate insight into the cycle of addiction and conflict.
Let's go back to that recording. It's Defendant's Exhibit 598. You testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, to effectively start another cycle.
Right. Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's neither here nor there. That wouldn't have
testimony is now
prevented him from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children?
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter was there.
Okay. Let's play, please, Defendants 598 at 4948 through 5035. 5035.
I'm itching. I don't want to be doing this. I want it just to, why don't you just say, "Okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing, hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours and we'll talk about it." Is it that difficult to say that? Or you just fucking hate me and you want to be shitty about it? Please. Just fucking, it's not that difficult. Okay?
Professional overview. Cross-examination of Amber Heard regarding the events of May 2016, specifically targeting the visibility of her alleged injuries and the timeline of her actions immediately following the alleged abuse. Key contradictions highlighted. Police testimony. The defense introduced a testimony of 3 separate officers, Sines, Haddon, and Gatlin, and one doorman, Ramiro, all of whom stated they observed no visible injuries, swelling, or bruises on Ms. Heard's face in the days following the May 21st incident. Ms. Heard consistently sought to minimize or reinterpret these accounts. The James Franco visit. The defense presented surveillance video showing Ms. Heard with James Franco in the elevator on May 22nd, one day after the alleged abuse, contradicting her claim that she sought a restraining order days later for the purpose of changing the logs to ensure her safety. Broader implications. The cross-examination aimed to severely undermine Ms. Heard's credibility by creating an overwhelming pattern of inconsistencies between her sworn testimony and both police accounts and physical evidence, the surveillance video. The repeated lack of injury observation from multiple third parties, combined with the timeline of the Franco visit, suggested to the jury that her fear of immediate danger was not genuine or was overstated.